It's fine. Long day today.
When are your courses starting? Or have they already?
I've got something that I'm starting pretty much next week.
Nice.
So,
That won't be too bad. You
No.
want one more meeting and then
yeah,
that'll be good.
one more.
One more. And if you don't make it, then I guess it'll be all right. But
Yeah, no, it's the one I'm doing next is a self-study, which is easy. The one after that will start this summer. So,
Although this is 6:50.
Okay, I'd like to bring the Sunapee School Board meeting February 10th, 2016 to order. We'll start on the left-hand side with a roll call.
Jan Betancourt, School Board.
Matt McNally, School Board.
John Carroll, School Board.
Paul Scarron, School Board.
Kelly Wessels, Business Administrator. Kate O'Connor, Secretary.
And Sean.
John Moynihan, Principal, Sunnyvale High School.
Megan Reese, Principal, Sunnyvale. Jody Bergen, Principal, Sunnyvale Central Elementary School. Your Director, Student Services.
Okay. Absent is Russ Holton, he's at a superintendent's conference, and Brian Garland, who is out of country. Matt, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Flag's right there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Right ahead of everybody.
I know. It's like, whoa.
Okay, a moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. Also, well, just as a side note, maybe Sharon, you might be able to fill this in a little bit. It's kind of an unexpected thing. I just want people to realize that Ron Bodette is still, I think, having trouble, and I just want everybody to think about him and in prayers or whatnot. But I don't know if you can give us a quick little brief about what's going on with him, or.
I don't know if I have too much more than what we've had in the past, but he's, I believe he's being transferred to Concord. He's been sitting up and starting to talk and eat food and so forth, so it's a really huge game, but it wasn't just.
Good. Well, thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I just, he's the teacher, been a teacher here for a while, so I just wanted people to realize that he's still not out of the woods yet. So, okay, would someone like to make a motion on the minutes for January 13th, 2016?
I move that we approve them as written.
Okay, motion made by Paul,
Second.
seconded by Jan. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, also same for non-public, same date, January 13th. Would someone like to make a motion?
I move that we accept the non-public minutes as presented.
Okay, motion made by Paul,
Second that.
seconded by Matt, and discussion on that. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, agenda review. The only thing on the agenda that we're going to disregard is superintendent's report, since our Russ is not here. And we have a non-public at the end. We will be coming out to vote, but that's it. Other than that, no other reviews. And so we'll move on to public forum. Anybody in the public have anything they'd like to talk about the agenda, or?
I have I have a couple comments
Okay.
that I'd like to make. Last month, you and Russ made, at the beginning of the school board meeting, talked about moving forward, and I thought I'd like to also do the same, if I could make a few comments, and I've composed a few thoughts so that I wouldn't ramble, and I'd like to, it's more of a concise message. 2.5 years ago, I started attending school board meetings, and very seldom were there any more than 5 or 7 people in attendance, and I think the increased attendance was a little bit smaller tonight than usual. I think that was a good thing, and I think it was good for everybody involved. And I think it's very important for us to hear all sides of all issues. What I'd rather not see is an atmosphere of them against us, or whatever, whoever us is and whoever them is. It's important for us to keep our focus on the students and the teachers and make sure that our schools are a safe and unintimidating place where all students can learn and be challenged, and all teachers are able to teach and are supported. I want to thank the parents and the teachers and students who've been willing to come forward and speak out and express their concerns. And I believe that it was your persistence and honest concern for our students that has precipitated some change. Mr. Holden arranged for Malcolm Smith, the bullying expert, to come to our schools and speak to the entire community. During his visit, Mr. Smith discovered that we weren't in compliance with the anti-bullying law procedures, and I hope that the new policies and procedures will put an end to student bullying.
That's not really true, what he was saying about that part of it, so.
Well, let me continue. I personally was quite moved by Malcolm Smith's passion and mission to help create schools with caring and nurturing environments. Mr. Smith's countrywide mission, Courage to Care, has given me the courage to stand up and say that I think we also have an imbalance of power in our schools. We're going to teach our students to be more civil to one another.
Hey, wait a minute. Jan, we're in recess, we're going to stop this, because that's really just your opinion about what's going on here. It is actually
But don't I have an opinion? Can't I
Well,
express an opinion?
I guess you can express an opinion, Jan, but the thing is, this is not what the school board, we're collectively supposed to be working as one, and apparently it's your opinion as far as what you feel is going on. What Russ and I were doing is basically telling the board or the community what the direction of the board as a whole is doing. This is not the board as a whole. And I don't want to take away from your opinion, but the thing is, we speak as a board. We're not on our own platform here. If you want to go out and stand on your own platform and talk about, whatever you want to do on your own soapbox, that's fine. But that's not what the consensus of the board is. We just got done taking an evaluation of the school board ourselves internally, and the evaluation is as one, not as an individual member. So I think it's a little bit out of place. If you want to continue on certain things that are not throwing slingshots at anybody in the community here or anybody in the school system, you're taking pot shots at the school, which I don't think it's fair.
No, but I do.
So I'm going to shut it down if you can't
Okay,
contain it.
You're correct.
Who's she slingshotting after?
It's my
These are
decision.
pretty vague statements.
So,
Public forum, right?
does anybody else have anything? Okay. Don't need any outbursts from the community. If you want to speak towards something to the agenda, then let's speak towards something to the agenda. And that's what we're looking at. Do you have anything that you want to speak about in that manner, Jan, that's not going to do that?
What I'm hearing is that this isn't an opportunity to speak about.
It is an opportunity, but you can't talk about personnel. And that's the problem you're doing. You're talking about administration, and I guess there's only 2 administrators here, so it's a little easy to figure out what administrators you're talking about.
It is a climate, it's culture and climate. We have always discussed, we've always talked about working towards a culture and climate. And all I'm trying to do is to encourage people to continue. But if this is, this is inappropriate.
It is.
Thank you.
Would the board like to vote on it to continue, let Jan continue? Paul?
Jan, I don't have any issues with you speaking your opinions in so much as you wrap it around the fact that it is your opinions and not the balance of the board.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But we each have a voice.
And you're correct with that.
One more, I just think we have to be careful when we say it's a public forum, though, and let the public, this is the time for the public to speak too, so I think we just need to be mindful of that too.
Okay. Does anybody like to bring anything forward about the agenda? Yes. Could you come up to Mike Alden, please? Unfortunately. Well, it's our intimidating process. Yeah. I figured it would be for you.
I'm Alden Clough, I live on 129 Road. I'm basically just keeping a follow-up on the bullying issues that I'm aware of. Not going to get into this contest with anybody. The other thing I want to say is, I think on this session on the 17th, that's going to be more pertaining to the bullying deal, is it? Is that my understanding?
17.
That's
Well,
Russ's.
February 17th?
Russ's.
Yes, that's his, yes.
So you dudes are going to do a good job of publicizing it, so more, hopefully get a good turnout, people can express their concerns.
As far as I know, it's going to be advertised. He is going to be giving us his cumulative report from Malcolm Smith, and that is going to be presented.
Okay, because sooner or later, we're gonna have to work on some stuff, whether anybody likes it or not, you know, that's my opinion.
Yes.
And the other thing I'd just say is, it's not really out of order. When you have a board, I expect every one of you guys to have a different opinion. I don't expect everybody to agree with each other, because that's humanly impossible. And sometimes hearing a different opinion makes you think something that you didn't think of before. So that's my perspective from the public. Any slings and arrows at anybody, that's just a fact of life. I don't want a board that can't have a different opinion and can't speak it in public. That's just me. Not
Agreed.
personal, but that's
Yep.
the way I look at it. All right?
You got it. Thanks. Okay. Move on to technology integration.
I think we have one more
Oh,
individual.
yeah.
I'm Pam Alinaro from Lower Main Street, and I just wanted to talk about, or suggest, so when you have your good news, that we include something, maybe an update on what's been happening in the schools since Malcolm Smith did speak. And especially one of the things he said was that there would be more communication, there would be things, more bullying incidents brought forth, that would possibly be an outcome of him talking with the students, and that the students would have a voice and be free to use that voice and start to deal with the issues of bullying. So I guess I'm hoping that we will hear about that during the good news tonight.
Thank you. Okay. Move on to technology integration, and I think Jonathan Reed, are you going to be pulling the?
Yeah, you guys might come down here. It's hard to see it from behind the screen. You can see back there, Kelly. Hey, Katie, on your way by, we turn down the lower switch, right by the phone. The one that has the do not touch thing. Perfect. Okay. I'm not going to start my timer yet. Do you have your reading glasses? One of those. Oh, are you +2? I don't know, I can't read them without the glasses. Sometimes you all need a little help to see. I'm going to show you guys a couple of things that we're doing with students. That help is actually a little bit strong for me. Maybe when I'm your age. How many of you use a Kindle or an e-reader? Just in the audience. A lot of people do that, right? We have a lot of students who use Kindles from the library. We can get books on demand. So if there's not a book available that someone's looking for, Ray or Heidi can get those books right away for students in a matter of minutes. It's something that I use a lot. It's through Kindle. It's called VoiceOver, and this is on the Kindle app on the iPad. And I'm just going to get it down for you. Most of our students know how to use this when they're doing this. It's called a triple click. It takes us to the accessibility menu and VoiceOver.
VoiceOver on.
Here it is.
Double tap for menu.
So it
Swipe
reads,
2 fingers down for
reads
continuous
to us.
reading.
If I swipe down 2 fingers,
Reading others complements bullet themes related to others through contact and cooperation. And getting out of the library. Bullet themes associated with positive.
it's going to read along. So it's going to do continuous reading on that. And usually the hardest part is to show
Select
it
VoiceOver on.
but we'll do continuous reading, and it's pretty neat. You can listen to it and read along. It's something that I do a fair amount. But it's a pretty mechanical voice, and you guys may all have heard voices that just kind of get under your skin and they just grate at you. Mine might be one of them. And there's this really cool program called VoiceStream. And VoiceStream integrates with Bookshare technology, so students may qualify for Bookshare for different reasons, and they get books in an audio format. And right from Bookshare, they can bring the book into this VoiceStream program. And VoiceStream's a little bit slicker.
Glad was to take possession before Nicholas. And someone is
Notice it's following punctuation, pauses, follows on a little bit better. It's kind of cool. I learned more about students on, more from students on this, how to use it. We can adjust the rate of speech on this. Okay. And kind of back to that idea of the annoying voices, we can add voices in here. And this is kind of cool also because the Smarter Balance test has VoiceOver technology built into it, so students are qualified for that. And see what it says NeoSpeech here? NeoSpeech is the same company that develops the voices for the Smarter Balance exam. So students can have the same speech voice that they're getting in the Smarter Balance exam, they're getting in this also. And these are kind of neat because we can have, like Graham. And maybe that one would get under your skin, but there are these different voices that you can load in there. And that's pretty neat to have these for, we read with our eyes, we read with some people read with their hands, some people read with their ears. So these different ways of reading it and being able to get that in a way that comes to you. In here we can also show the text size, make it bigger, the spacing between the characters and the spacing between the lines. So then I wouldn't need Paul's reading glasses in this case because I could see what was up on the screen. Another thing that we're doing, a fair number of students, a lot of students are doing this, which I think is just really neat. A number of you probably in the last year have switched from texting while you drive like this to texting while you drive like this. And, for whatever reason, that's safer. But if not, you might be speaking to your phone more. And George's Mills, those of you who live in George's Mills for whatever reason, is Georgia Smells in my world. But these, I'm going to start with on an iPad, having go in here, and we can dictate to the iPad. So right now the iPad should be listening to me. If I stay near it, new line, I can dictate what I am writing, period. Let's go to a new line. It's not going to get that. New line. New line, new line, period. And then you have to edit it. But it is neat to see students on the bus doing this, or the elementary school parent kids that go in a quiet corner and can dictate to that. What's pretty cool on this is we can reuse the Google environment here, I'm going to switch over to the Google, the Chromebook here, the other computer, and you just see, hopefully, what I was just typing with my voice is on that same document. So it's that cloud computing, it's that anywhere, everywhere access. And when we talk about students, if you guys have ever seen a middle schooler's backpack, it's like the black hole. If you read Harry Potter where they go into the tent and it just goes on forever, I think that's the backpack, all right? So now we have this great spot where the students are keeping their, where they're not losing things. In Google, we have this Google Classroom, which some people have seen, some people have not seen. The fifth graders were good enough to let me join in. You can see there's 4 teachers listed across the top here. Tom Brady, pretty nice that he's one of our teachers. So they'll let me in here, and this is pretty cool. So this gets pushed out to the students. And so if the fifth graders weren't sure what they were supposed to do on Sunday night for homework, here's their homework. There's a video that they have to watch. Here's some information that they needed to complete. The teacher uploads this into Google Classroom and it gets pushed out to every student. So not every student is making a copy of it. It's organizing it for the teacher and for the students. Jumping back into the classroom, one of the things I thought was really neat, we have a lot of teachers who do this, is not everyone does it sideways, but here's a math lesson that the teacher recorded that students could then refer back to. You don't have to tilt your head 90 degrees. Right? So the teacher is narrating along with how to solve this. So the homework went along with that. All right, math lesson 12, attach a video. This is not in class today, some help with the video. So that's a Google Classroom that's widely used schools here. So down to 3 through 12 level. Last week, some of us went to a conference and we learned all kinds of really neat things. And you guys are going to kind of get, and you, because you're along for the ride too, some of the mind up on this. So we're meeting on Monday to really get everything organized before we push it out. But some of the really neat things we learned about, and I think this morning we're going to get a kick out of this, not that one, is he and I both like distractions. Is if I go to YouTube, and this is something I can see doing with my own children, I can put on something called Strict Workflow. And this is an extension. An extension is something that adds to the functionality of the browser, so you can do more within the browser. So I can turn on this extension called Strict Workflow, and it's going to give me 25 minutes to work away. Might take a minute. Okay. So the page is blocked. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a timer counting down 25 minutes. I cannot get to YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or any of that I define until that 25 minutes is up. And then I'm allowed 6 minutes to go and just watch silly videos. And then I'm back to being blocked on these things. Really help organize what we're doing on that. Have you ever gone to Boston.com? Boston.com has a phenomenal amount of pop-up advertisements. There's this extension called Ad Blocker, which keeps the pop-ups from coming up, so you're not getting all those distractions. That's another extension. Well, if I want to read about Carly ending her bid for the president, there is probably 2 paragraphs in here that is actually an article, and there's a lot going on around it. There's an extension called Readability, and if I do Read Now on this, it's going to strip out all of that information to just present me with the article. I could then take that and send that link in this format to my students via email. I can grab the link and put it into Google Classroom. And from there, I can also take it a step further and I can format this. So I can make my text bigger. If I can't see side to side of the page, I can adjust that as well. And there's different fonts that are built in. That's kind of neat. And if I go back to Boston.com, this is a fun one to do with, Chris Christie's done too. This is called Boom. And what could go wrong with an app called Boom? An extension called Boom. Again, my article is down here. See how it draws the line around here? When I have that around, and I do boom, it goes away. Boom, gone. Boom, gone. 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 I think I just got rid of my article. Right? So boom, again, we'll strip those things away. It's kind of fun to do that as well. All right? I got one more minute. If is a great app that we're using here to send information. If it goes out on email, it gets sent to, or if it goes out on Twitter, it gets sent to the email distribution list. If we'll do things like if somebody tags you in a picture on Facebook, it'll automatically copy that picture and put it into, and save it for you. So it'll move to Google Drive and save that. If we'll also do something, if you're not sure, do I need a raincoat today or not, it'll check the weather for you and send you a message, 7 o'clock. It's going to rain today, bring your raincoat. Oh, that'll help me get organized in the morning for sure. There's all I can do with it. If you have some home automation stuff, like with Naster, if you drive a BMW by any chance, there's some great stuff on there that when you drive in the yard, or when you get close up, you can set where you are. The car will notify the Nest thermostat and adjust the heat, turn the lights on, as you want. Built-in dictionaries we have on here also. So, I still have Boom going, so I'm going to be losing them left and right. These are all links. And then, entertainment. Well, we don't know what the dictionary is. If I select the word popular, and then click on my dictionary, it'll tell me what the word popular means. It's pretty easy to do. One or two more I want to show you. Biodigital human, if you've ever taken your biology or anatomy classes or life sciences, these are pretty neat. You can assemble a human being here, and then you can peel away the layers, you can spin it around, you can dig into it. And this would be an app. So the extension adds the functionality of the browser. The app is something like another app that you would have on your phone. It's something that we're using here as well. So we continue to use a lot of technology here. Those are some apps and some extensions that we're using widespread across all students. These are pretty neat because they help everybody with kind of this idea. It's a neat video of the averages. Todd Ross. There's no such thing as an average. And it's about the Air Force and the fighter pilots. Have you seen this? Like they can't build anything average because, like, I may have an average torso, but I have these 2 short legs, and it's just that having this stuff is pretty slick to be able to add that in there. All right. Our teachers are using more and more technology also. It's pretty neat to watch them. I used to work at some basketball games, run the sound system, and now that's just a function that Tom Breckett does when he's down at the gym. There's the guy who used to struggle with his Etch-a-Sketch, and now he is much more proficient using Google Classroom and PE class, and as he's more proficient on these things, it's all coming along on that. So it's pretty neat. Doing that. I'm over my 10 minutes to start. So thank you very much. Thank you for let me know if I see more of that.
Okay. Thank you, John. Does anybody have any questions of John? Okay. Moving along then. Good news. We will move to Jody from the Sunapee Elementary.
Good news for the elementary school. Our first graders have combined the 100th day of school celebration with Valentine's Day and some community service. They're recording 100 acts of kindness this month. And part of that is our annual community service project to do Valentine boxes for seniors. I think we have 46 seniors that will be delivering goodie boxes to on Friday, and parents and students will be delivering those to the seniors in town. We actually have taken the information presented by Dr. Smith last month. We've created a core team to investigate and manage student conflict. That includes a teacher, guidance counselor, a paraeducator, one of our unified arts teachers, and our occupational therapist to give students a variety of adults that they feel comfortable coming to talk to help us to deal with those conflicts. We have had one reported conflict already that was investigated by this team and found to not be a bullying and not go through to the full bullying investigation. And I actually talked with both students today, and they felt that the matter was resolved and they were happy with the process. Also related to that, we do have coming on March 19th the Tiger Bully Proofing performance. That's for the whole school. And that company, the Tiger Company, is affiliated with Plymouth State University. We had them come 2 years ago. It's a great program. The kids really enjoy it and are really engaged in it. And then actually Dr. Smith is a consultant for them. So we're looking forward to that. And after February break, we'll have our after-school clubs coming back. We had a hiatus last year, but we're going to be offering them again this year. Things like gardening and yoga and Spanish and French. We have a couple of high school girls who are going to do Spanish for us, so we're really excited to be able to offer those.
Just that's a quick question. Could you just delve a little bit into the conflict resolution team, like how a matter might kind of roll through that?
Well, usually something, either a teacher or a student will come to me with their concern. In this particular case, a teacher brought the student to me. And so then I asked 2 of the team members, can you interview the student and the alleged perpetrator and figure out if this is just a one-time conflict, if it was related to the game that they were playing, if it was some competition. Can you guys kind of delve into it and figure it out? And so they did that. They interviewed the 2 students, and then they met and determined that based on those interviews, it was a one-time conflict. It was competition related. But then there's documentation of that, so if there is something in the future, we have that and we can really proceed with that.
And how does a faculty member or one of the teachers or paras or anything get involved in that? Is that something that a selection process, people put their name in?
We discussed it at a faculty meeting, and we didn't want classroom teachers because we were afraid that would be a conflict with their students. So it's people who don't have a day-to-day direct with the students, but people that are well loved by the students, and that we know the students.
Great.
Anybody? Paul? No, thanks. How many people are on that, Jody?
6 or 7.
6 or 7.
And in order for it to not be something that is kind of an extra time, it'll rotate who does the interviews with the students. So it's not always the guidance counselor interviewing, or it's not always the occupational therapist interviewing.
Right.
So that spread out.
The Tiger is, did you say it's the Tiger, what is it again? The Tiger
It's
team?
Tiger, their performance, I believe, is called
Tiger Performance?
Bullies and Bystanders, and it talks about kids' feelings getting hurt and...
One person, 2 person? Is it a group of people that come?
It's a
or
group of people.
that come and do it?
Yeah, and they've been around, I want to say, at least 10 years now.
And how do they present? Do they go to each classroom? Is there slotted
They'll do
times?
a whole school assembly in the gym.
Okay. So is it pretty much the whole day, or is it just a
No, it's
slotted
about
time?
an hour-long
Hour-long,
presentation.
yeah. And then there's time for people after to do their...
They do then go into individual classrooms and do kind of like a Q&A with kids.
Okay.
So it's, so many different, the kids can ask questions and not have to worry about who they're asking. It's, that's what they do.
Does anybody else have any questions on that?
Is this the first time that you have used them or they've come?
No, we had them come a couple of years ago, but it is a program that the kids really engage in, so it's worth having them come back. And I had them a couple of times in the previous district.
So are they going to be on a schedule, or is it just, it's whenever you call or whatnot, they will present?
They're coming on the 19th. We've already contracted with them. They'll do the whole school assembly first thing in the morning, and then after that, they'll do kind of 15-minute follow-ups in each classroom.
Do they
Thank
have,
you.
I'm sorry, Sean.
No, go ahead.
I'm assuming in this age where John's teaching us how to be more interactive, they have something that we can, they have a website that we can link to put out on our elementary school page saying this is happening and what it all is about?
Yeah, they're linked through the
Okay.
Plymouth.
But I mean,
Definitely
for
get
our
that.
parents and audience members and taxpayers to just gain access to easily?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Jody.
Thank you, Jody. Okay, Sean, Middle High.
I'm sorry?
Middle High.
Middle High, gotcha. Touching on what you had talked about earlier with Mr. Bodette, thanks for Mrs. Parks for sharing. I think it's important, we have a student, Cody Cabral, who was with him that day. And, we'll be doing something for him moving forward, but really saved his life. So he's here, was able to call under a very stressful situation with a lot of really good things. And so, very, very proud of Cody and very hopeful, or thankful that Mr. Bodette's making progress that he is. Busy month as usual. We have the middle school geography bee and spelling bee. Rupert Dalton won the geography bee. Perseveres won the spelling bee. Again, Dr. Smith did come. We spent a lot of time with him. He was very helpful. A couple of the big recommendations he had following on what Ms. Bergen says is coming up with a committee to kind of break things up. And when I say break things up, one of the things he said directly was we're doing too much in the sense that the person bringing the bullying comes to us, we talk to all the students, we do all the interviews, and saying you're just doing too much of that. And so it was good to be able to come up with a committee that looks very much like the one at the elementary school. We do have a classroom teacher, but a guidance counselor, school nurse, case manager, so doing that. That was his big recommendation along with curriculum training. We've had workshops over the time, but we've never had a full curriculum. Like I said, we met with him for an hour and a half or 2 hours. One thing he never said during that time to us was that we were not in compliance with the law. So it's one thing that never came out of his mouth. And speaking with us, maybe he said it to Mr. Holden, but Mr. Holden hasn't relayed that to us if that's the case. So I think that's an important thing. If it's true, the first word hearing of it is from a school board member in public session. So we have our winter carnival coming up outside the Sherburne, February 18th, 19th. We'll try to do things here, but the students are interested in using the ice rink, perhaps the sledding hill if there's snow.